this new song is absolute carpet rugs. And you're like,
Yeah, it is
this
carpet rugs. Dude, if he's saying it,
he's saying it's carpet rugs.
Gotta be carpet rugs.
Gotta be carpet rugs.
Interviewing Broadway stars of all kind, asking the questions that you have pined. We'll grab a slice and you can unwind, 'cause now it's time for a Pizza Your Mind.
Hi.
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 Hi. Hi.
Hi. And then that one.
Hi.
Nice. Good take. We are here with F Michael Haynie for a Pizza Your Mind. Before we do anything, can we?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Good. So this
Thank
is from
God.
Little Italy Pizza. We got an oversized.
See, this is the thing. No one has ever had the right box size, but in New York, I feel like they still stubbornly make it bigger.
Absolutely.
Which is great, because then you go, yeah, I'm gonna get that and give it a little.
I don't know if you noticed, this is the side where all the oil has dripped to.
Oh yeah.
So let's see what kind of person you are.
What are
What
your
slice are you
thoughts? See,
on?
I'm going right here because it's like right in front of me, and I don't have to make decisions.
I love it.
But here's my real question for you: Are you one of those people that blots your pizza?
There is a movie, Along Came Polly, where Philip Seymour Hoffman takes the pizza and the oil because Ben Stiller is blotting it, and he just takes the oil. It's like, that's the best part, and just drips into his mouth. I think of that every time, and it looked delicious when he did it.
Yeah.
And I 1000% prefer the no.
Yeah.
What?
I think I only do it when I'm like sitting there eating a dollar slice like right before a show because I'm trying to get like grease on my chords before I have to sing.
1000%.
Cheers to you.
Cheers. Yeah, this is gonna be. So the undercarriage isn't the best. Dave Portnoy wouldn't give this the.
But it's got what you want. It's good. It's got what you want, which is this like pilly like.
That's cornmeal.
Yeah. You want to have texture.
They have good. I go to this place more times than I'd like to admit. Their sauce is a little sweet, and I like that on a pizza. Don't necessarily like it on pasta. On a pizza, I enjoy the sweeter sauce.
I feel like though, it really is such a staple of like New York street pizza, because I feel like the little bit of sweetness has got to be like economically sound. That they're like, you know, the robust tomato, like all these like, you know, San Marzanos or whatever. Like you go like, no, we're gonna put some sugar in it so it doesn't taste like ketchup, but also it just tastes good going down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A little bit of sugar goes a long way.
Yeah, this is great.
F. Michael Haynie.
Yes.
We're gonna start with the crust. What I like to call the crust. First thing I want to know is F. Michael Haynie your real name?
Yeah. So as short and always please tell. I talk too much.
So what should there be something I do to let you know? Like,
Oh yeah, say shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Literally, like Brightman will look at me sometimes and be like, "You got it. We're good. We're good."
That is such a Brightman
Oh
thing to
yeah.
do.
But again,
Alex Brightman.
Alex Brightman. No, we've been friends. We were same a cappella group in college, and
I've got.
Oh,
and then the
we'll get there.
morons,
Oh, yeah.
We'll get there.
So F. Michael Haynie. So like, there's like a birth certificate name, and then there was like a name that it morphed into when I came to college. And that's why, like, every now and then, someone, especially like Brightman, who I went to school with, some people will call me like F Mike, which is a very weird thing because like it used to be you had to call me F Michael, like that was the whole name.
F. Michael.
You had to say the whole thing. That's annoying. And the number of times I was on like
For you or for them?
Both.
Okay.
Because like I would say F Michael and people go Michael, and I go no F Michael, and they're like Michael, and I'm like okay, letters are hard, I get it.
People are assholes.
Yeah, and also there are a lot of people that have the name Michael, so like people felt it was very comfortable. And that first 18 years of my life, Michael. My mom called me.
Is that your first name?
No, my first name is Franklin.
Franklin.
That's where the F comes from. I do too. It was just not my name.
Okay.
It'd be like someone being like Paul, and I'm like, yeah, I don't have really strong feelings about Paul.
Okay, fair.
But like, you know,
Absolutely.
And it was my grandfather's name, who's no longer alive. But like, I only called him Grump. So like I never heard Franklin. Like it wasn't a name I like thought about ever.
TV show?
Oh, like
Franklin
the turtle?
the Turtle?
Yeah, there was. I was a teacher's kid, so I was never like really bullied. I was just ignored, which is like
Worse?
same but different.
Yeah.
Like less bruises outside.
Yeah.
But like, so then what's funny is like, you know, there's the scene in like every detective thing where they like drop the coffee cup and they remember everything and then it crashes on the floor.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's been me since I came out as being non-binary about so many little things I did in my life. Changing my name and taking like ownership over this thing that was F. I became F. Like it was this letter. And at first people were like, oh, so cool. And then I was like, actually, it just like is me. Like it kind of became like.
Well, how cool that it coincides with being super cool and it's just you.
Oh yeah.
Like that's cool. It could have been something else that wasn't as cool, you know? Like that's cool that it coincides.
Yeah. And it felt good. It's one of those things that like, again, like some people have awakenings in their life that discover some big change. My mother is still trying to figure out like, I have two moms. I love them both and they're so great. My mom has like sectioned me off into two humans. There's Michael, who's like her kid, and then there's F Michael, who is like a Broadway actor. And so it's so funny when she talks about my career, it's F. When it's me, it's like Michael. And I'm like, Mom, you know, I'm always F. And she's like, oh, yeah, you know, because she's like,
that's so interesting. What was your first time that you were like, oh, I want to be on stage. This is fun, or like, yeah, on stage. I'm going slice 2. Sorry.
No. I don't know. Like for me, like I think it's that I knew I wanted to be on stage early, but I never knew I wanted to be on stage as an actor. I love music and I love playing instruments and I love like rock and roll and like in my shared Saturn car with my mother, I had like Speakerboxx Love Below by Outkast. I had multiple Ludacris records. I had Metallica, the self-titled album. I had like all this stuff, and like I didn't think about musicals. I did them because my family did them.
Yeah.
But like
you never thought of it as a career.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, my brother's a very good actor and is now a director and literally runs like a theater in our hometown, and I'm like super proud of him. In Macon, Georgia, yeah. And he's great, and like he was in the city for a long time, and it was like he was in like Men in Black 3 and like every series on HBO, that fucking guy would show up. It'd be like, oh, in the back of like a Boardwalk Empire episode, there's my brother.
That's
like
cool.
You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of thing. Like we had very different kinds of like New York experiences, but like he knew he wanted to like be on stage and make theater and all these things, and I was like, I mean, I just don't think I didn't think I was like good enough, and also like I'm such an introvert and I'm so terrified of people, but I've learned to be like a lizard in a human suit. That I like zip up at the beginning of the day and I go like, oh, this is what we do with our faces. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
See, that's so interesting because I'm very much not that. And I feel like there are so many more people like that that I've come to like really know because I learned the human bodysuit. I've learned about them. And then I see the lizard and I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah.
That's fascinating because I would have never thought that. You're good with that human suit on, you know?
But I think we learn that from watching people. The reason that I want to be on stage now is because I'm obsessed with the human condition. I'm obsessed with people. That like, in a non every step you make, like I'll be watching you. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like experiencing what humanity is. Like I learned to be an extrovert from two friends in my a cappella group. And they were Alex Brightman and Josh Segura.
I would think Brightman is less extroverted than you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he doesn't he doesn't put anything on. Yeah. I feel like that's who he is. I would think you are more extroverted than him.
Some of it is like what I've realized in talking to people of different levels of introversion, extroversion, or like now people talk about them like they're fucking star signs. Someone's like, oh, I'm an extrovert with introvert rising. And I go like, you know what I mean? Like it's wild, but I go, there's part of it that I go, my introversion is not an inability to perform publicly. It's that there is a part of me that is always sitting inside like, move the arms, you idiot. Yeah. Like it's this thing of like, I go home and I play, and you know, maybe it's other things. I have a therapist. But I go, you know.
We should all have therapists.
Brought to you by BetterHelp.
I wish. One day,
come on.
BetterHelp, come on.
Hashtag sponsor.
Come on. Let's talk about the morons.
Yeah.
Because we keep talking about Brightman.
That's a tattoo right there.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
So tell us a little about the morons. It is you, F Michael Haynie.
Yes.
Andrew Kober.
That's correct.
Drew Gasparini and Alex Brightman.
You collected the whole set.
I used to listen to you guys when I was in high school. I know that. I'm sorry. I know. I'm being honest.
You know what? I'll say this. I now have worked with people that are like starring in the shows that I'm in, and they'll say some offhanded thing about like where they were when some cultural thing happened in the world. It used to make me feel old, and it used to make me feel also unsuccessful. And that was a really big like growing moment of someone who's like, oh yeah, it's like my 3rd Broadway show. And I go, oh, that's awesome. That's congratulations. And they're like, yeah, I graduated from high school last year. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Well,
I haven't done many. I haven't done that many, but like, am I not good? No. And I think as I've gotten older, I've realized that acting is one of the few things that is not like ladder based. There's probably a better thing, but I go like, when you're a lawyer.
linear.
Yes, that's better. That's ladder, like a linear ladder. You go like
Hashtag linear ladder.
when you're like a lawyer, which is the way you say it apparently. I say lawyer, and then people are like, lawyer is how you
say lawyer?
Yeah, that's the yeah, I had to learn how to say lawyer.
You do lawyer.
Yeah, you do the lawyer.
A lawyer.
But like you get the internship or whatever, and then you work at a firm, and then you like want to be a partner, and then you want to have your own firm. Like there's this trajectory that you go on and does
I've been thinking about that for the last month.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
We don't have that.
You can be up here, and then like there's nothing. You can originate. Like I think everyone's goal is to originate like the leading role on a Broadway show, and then you can do nothing.
No.
Christine Dwyer was telling me that she would go to, while she was doing Alphaba, she did
Ellen Stardust.
Ellen Stardust.
Yep.
While she was Alphaba.
Yeah.
That's insane. That shows the dedication. That shows all of it. How do we get from here to the morons?
So I'll tell you.
Ooh, good segue.
I think there's this thing where, as I've realized, it's not competitive. It's super competitive. But ultimately it's not competitive. And I learned that from having 3 friends who are remarkably talented, who I am the biggest fans of, and the biggest fans of their success. And I never was allowed to like sing like me. And all of a sudden I was in this group of people, and I met this person like Alex. And I'm like, who's this? This guy's insane, he's awesome. And so we got along really, really well. So we maintained friendship after school. And then it was like 2010, early 2011. And this guy, Drew Gasparini, was like, hey, I got your email from our friend, a mutual friend, Andy Nientis, who I'd just done Carrie with. And he was like, or was about to do Carrie. Anyway, and he was like, hey, so like, you want to sing everyone's telling me that you should sing my stuff. And so like, we want to sing my stuff. And I went, sing me the song. And I listened to this song and I was like, yo, who are you? What is this? You sound like all my favorite writers. Like I was a big Jason Mraz kid. Like, growing up. I played guitar and I was the white kid. Like, yeah. And I was like, this is cool writing. And he was like, oh yeah, I used to like be on that same circuit with the Plain White Tees and all the. And I'm like, you want to write musical theater? You out of your mind? And like, so the first night, Brightman and I had a rehearsal for this concert, and we went to like Ripley Greer or something, and sat in the room, sang, like kind of like a buddy. I had a buddy there in case like it got weird. And then it got weird, and we ended up going to a private room karaoke.
Fun.
After visiting multiple restaurants. And then ended up in private room karaoke, just sitting there singing like
whatever you wanted.
And I was like, you're on tour with them. Like, yeah, he was.
Oh, that's cool.
And so like, we're just having fun. And I went, I don't feel competitive. And it took me a long time to learn that. And it was those 2 guys that like Brightman through college and through watching his successes. Cause like we got out of school and he had already been in the shortest running Broadway musical of all time. You know what I mean? Like that had already happened. And then he was like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna come back to school. Sorry, I booked Wicked. Like it was wild. And I'm still sitting there going like, I have an agent. I don't know what's going on.
For sure. And that's a lot to process because it's a friend, because they're the same type?
Oh, he was skinny then.
Oh,
He was like, it was so interesting, like how much we've changed, like as people. But I think like what is different about like why I was not competitive with him was because I saw something in him that I went, I can't do what you do. And the second that I figured that out, that made my life so much easier.
Oh yeah, because that's like that with every single person.
There's
There's something big, whatever it is, there is something that makes you different, which is good like a lot of the time, and then also just it's good for the other person. Doesn't mean it's bad for you, you know? And I it's something I've been going through my head, that's been going through my head a lot lately, just because there's a lull, you know? And anytime there's a lull, you get thinking. So that's why I like to stay busy and try to do other things, because like it gets dark up there, but then you just go to BetterHelp, and then it'll all be okay. Did you have any survival jobs?
Yeah, I've been a bank teller. I've been terrible. Don't ever be a bank teller unless you're a bank teller, and then BetterHelp.
Hashtag BetterHelp bank teller.
We're gonna run that into the ground. And then for a long time I was a karaoke host.
Fun. Like you would go to the bar with the equipment.
No, weirder. There was a bar. It just closed.
Your apartment. You would just host the karaoke nights.
I'm billing on the street, but I'm like, do a loan.
Fine.
No, I was at a bar called the Watering Hole.
Okay.
On 19th between Park and Irving, and I'd been a bartender for years, and then I kind of got poached. That feels like a weird thing to say about hosting karaoke.
Hell yeah, dude.
But I got poached by this karaoke spot because I would go in there with my friends. Like I would go in there with Brightman, and we would just sing, and they'd be like, who are you?
Yeah.
And we're like, we're just people who are enjoying a good time and singing some songs and like not taking ourselves seriously, which is every musical theater person that I meet that says, I don't like karaoke, I go, get over yourself.
Yep.
Like, I love singing. I love singing so much that I taught myself how to play guitar and taught myself how to play piano so I didn't have to have friends.
Fine.
Like
I should do that.
Yeah, do it.
I know.
Do it. You got a guitar right there.
It just looks cool, huh?
Yeah.
No, I can play the chords. I literally didn't play for School of Rock.
Yeah.
I had to. They got me a guitar coach for the road because I did not know how to play. But I did Brain Stew by Green Day.
Yeah.
And it's just dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun dun. And now they just look cool.
With time. I always say, like, literally, I taught myself piano because I had an audition for a movie. I had to play piano in it. And eventually I got better and I could put an octave in this hand. And then I started adding a seventh with this hand.
You just stuck with it, man. Yeah. That's all it is. It's what it's all about. Is literally sticking with it.
Because it's hard. I think when you're a kid, you don't realize you're learning things because like time, it doesn't mean anything. It's a flat circle when you're a kid. Like you have no thoughts. You don't know. But like now I go, I have a skill I want to be good at. Dead ass. On God.
On God. I know. I feel like I still didn't usually use the cool terms, like even when I was like a teenager. So I still was like foreign to it, but now I feel like even extra foreign, where it's like, oh, wow. Like, it's like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. And everything's opposite. It doesn't make.
You want the trick?
Yeah.
I'm going to test you right now. This is a game.
See.
You get to, I heard, BetterHelp. No, Duolingo, shit. But you go, to make anything convincing, I think this is what the younger gens, the Zs and the Alphas are doing to like us. Say something with full conviction about what it means. All you gotta do. You gotta be like, yeah, I was at rehearsal today and I got a note, and honestly, it was an absolute watermelon. It was an absolute watermelon in a note. And someone's like, what? And you're like, yeah, simple on the outside, complicated on the inside.
I would say like a bust.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
You can just say it.
Yeah.
I was working a shift at the bar the other day, and this lamppost of a guy walks in, and I'm just like, and you're like, what? And you're like, oh yeah, tall but like big head.
Yeah,
like,
that's fun.
So you just say it, and I guarantee you that the youths are gonna sit there and go like, yeah, I know what you mean, because like it's evolving so quickly. Because like think about it like pre-internet. Someone had to be like, I'm gonna call this jazz cigarette a blunt. And then like 10 years later, it gets down the street and someone goes, oh, would you like this jazz cigarette? And they go, you're a nerd. It's called a blunt. Like that happened. Nowadays, there's one kid on TikTok who is like, yo, this new song is absolute carpet rugs. And you're like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, it is
This
carpet rugs. Dude, if he's saying it,
he's saying it's carpet
gotta
rugs.
be carpet
Gotta
rugs.
be carpet rugs. Hold my beer. Hold my Chaz cigarette. Damn it. And
I like beer. I like that as a
hold my
beer.
beer. Gotta laugh at you this time.
Hold my beer.
But
that's good.
But like,
that's the nuts. I think that's very funny.
The throne cigarette. Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. That's very funny to me. I'm gonna laugh about that later.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. I'll take that.
Yeah. So you talked about a little bit about Carrie. 2012 was like a big year.
Never
big
recover
year.
from 2012.
Yeah. So Carrie, Dogfight, and Wicked. Dogfight was directed by Joe, right?
Joe Mantello, yeah.
And so is
was
that
Wicked.
how? Yes.
Yeah. So the story about that was, I had auditioned for Wicked, like getting out of college, because like anybody that wasn't 5'10" tried to be 5'7" or whatever height requirement they technically used to have on Bach. And I went in a couple times because like Brightman had also played the role. So like Wicked will always hold a special spot for me. I just didn't see that I could be in the magical thing that was also Broadway, but then I saw like my best friend do it. Seeing it as a tangible thing made it make sense. So when I got like an audition for it or like there was an open call, I could go, and then I got typed out. And they were like, no, like nish, don't go here anymore.
Purely because of height.
I don't know. I tried
Wasn't
to.
that a type out? Like it has to be something physical, I think.
But the bad thing is they don't have to tell you.
I know, that's dumb.
So it was like at the office, and I was like, cool. And like I had been called in for Bach. And then I went to like a more open call where they were like looking for future replacements. And I just got it in my head that I walked in and they were like, okay, cool. No. And I was like, all right, well, that's it. Like never. So then I'm doing Dogfight. And I remember it was after like opening. Previews are different off Broadway. But it was like after the show was technically open and my mom's had come up to see the show. And I was at this apartment that I was staying in like Hamilton Heights. And my phone rang. It was my agent. And I answered the phone and I was like, sorry, Mom, like I don't want to do business. Like I know we're heading to the show and everything. And I answered the phone and he was like, hey, F, so I have an offer. And I went, okay, what, for what? And he's like, for Wicked on Broadway. And I was like, to audition for Wicked on Broadway? And he's like, no, to be in Wicked. And I went, and like ensemble? And he's like, no, for like Bach, like to be on Broadway as Bach starting in like September. And I went, what are you talking about? And then he explained, he was like, yeah, they're just making an offer, like we'll figure out some money and stuff like that. But like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. So I walked in and my mom's no idea, like the idea, they're not here that often because they live in Georgia. And I walked in and I was like, hey, so I don't know how to prep this. Like there should be a cool, like sexy intro of like, hey, I'm making my Broadway debut. But like my agent just called and I'm going to be on Broadway in like one of the biggest shows ever made.
How cool that your mom was there for that.
It was so cool. So we went straight, like we're on our way to the second stage space at like 43rd Street. We stopped at the Gershwin and I literally was like, that picture of Bach that is Itai Benson, like that's gonna be me, like in like 5 months. So, or no, like 3 months. It was pretty close. And so then I got to work and I walked up to Joe and I went, hey, what? And he goes, oh, did they tell you? And I went, what are you talking about? And he's like, oh yeah, me and David Stone, who was the producer of Dogfight and a producer on Wicked, they were like, yeah, during tech, we always like are on the look for when we know replacements are happening.
Because they know their show's gonna run forever.
Say that. And they were just like, yeah, we saw it and we just, yeah, we saw it. So we said, when we figured out what's going on with Dogfight and everything, and unfortunately Dogfight did not go on from there except to go on and do the things that it's been able to do as a piece. But like, that was the end of the road for that particular production. And yeah, so we just decided.
So I want to touch on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Okay.
Because my fiance has a question.
Okay.
She's probably better at questions than I am.
Great.
But I have conversation, and she's better with. You know how like they always say like women should be hired by the CIA because they can like research things better and like all of that, which is very sexist. I think I can also be in the CIA. But this is her question. If you had to experience one of the gruesome deaths from Charlie,
yeah,
which would you choose?
Book or movie?
I'm gonna go show.
Show, okay.
Because I never saw it live.
Yeah,
I just saw how Veruca.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
horrifying. For me, the death that I would choose would probably be Veruca's, because I go like, To expand and have all your skin stretch and like then explode for Violet, that sounds haunting.
Yeah.
Because I go like, what's happening inside? Outside we get. Inside I go like, is inside all the same size? Or is the outside expanded because the inside is expanding?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It's some bad stuff.
Yeah.
And then for my TV, you get like shrunk.
Mm-hmm.
And that seems like it happens in so many movies. Like everything is like, and I go, you know how terrible existence would be to be at that small? Because like an ant, you go like one ant can lift like 10 times the human. Can you imagine being able to pick up like relatively the same amount of stuff? You couldn't, like when you see like a person get shrunk to this size and they like open a door, you couldn't.
No.
You couldn't.
Nope.
You could not exist. You could not eat food. You couldn't find food that was nourishing, and you would die this like really terrible, insignificant little death.
Yeah.
And then for Augustus, getting trapped and like potentially squeezed, like you're basically getting like vacuum cleanered into chocolate. But also like I don't like chocolate, which was the huge irony of being Augustus. Don't make that face. If I don't like chocolate, that means you get my chocolate.
You're right.
See, that's a win for you. Like that was awful. But for Veruca, I go, that's like a Spartan death.
Yeah.
You are being attacked by not only an insane animal, but giant squirrels. Now, that's only giant in the musical. Like, if they were like little squirrels and it's a bunch of them.
That would be hard. Oh, yeah, it'd be harder.
Yeah, it'd be harder.
This episode is brought to you by Big and Tall Recording. Tucked away in a tiny suburb just 15 minutes outside of New York City lies a new recording studio founded by musicians Gabe Vale and Tommy McCormick. Big and Tall Recording! They've set up shop in Woodridge, New Jersey to take on new clientele from the metropolitan area. Together, they have enjoyed success in their own careers, leading them to perform in over 30 countries, play some of the world's biggest venues, as well as appear in periodicals such as the New York Times, Downbeat Magazine, and even NPR's Tiny Desk series. Gabe and Tom have now teamed up in the new studio to offer a unique recording process. They aim to produce high-quality recording associated with high-budget studios while offering the comforts of producing music with your friends. I actually sang background vocals on a tune that was recorded there, and it was such a lovely time. I enjoyed it very much. To date, they have amassed over 700 million streams of music worked on at their studio. That's a lot. Big and Tall works with a shared vision for ultimately letting the artist create in an environment where they can most be themselves. If you mention a Pizza Your Mind podcast when booking, you can receive 50% off your first booking. Find more at www.bigandtallrecording.com.
We're going to go to a segment called Speed Slice, so this will be fast. There's 10 questions here that you will read and answer.
Good.
You have until I finish a slice of pizza, and I eat quick.
I'm dyslexic. Is that helpful?
For me, yes.
Oh,
it gives
good.
me a little more time.
Okay, cool.
So good.
Great.
My fiance wrote them, so
love that. What's your fiance's name?
You can read it. Izzy. Sorry,
Izzy.
I guess I should use
Thank
her
you
name.
for the questions, Izzy.
Thanks for the question, and thanks for the writing, and thanks for loving me.
That's a good smile.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, and we will begin in 3, 2, 1, go.
What would be the title of your autobiography? Either Songs in the Key of F or Self-Titled Album, which was the name of my high school concert album. Would you rather suck the snot out of someone's nose or have someone throw up in your mouth? Snot. Throw up is acid. That's awful.
But food at one point. Keep going.
Not helpful. What reality show, if any, would you want to appear on? I think it would be hilarious to... there's a show called... Oh, it's not gonna come to me. I'm gonna switch and come back. Favorite food to eat when you are sad? Ooh, God, that's hard. I really like buffalo wings, and you can kind of have them anytime, and being sad is really easy. Name the body part you could live without. I don't know. Like a butt. I don't really need a butt, like the cheeky part. What's your happy place? I love video games a lot. If it's a happy place, it's not a person. If it's a person, it's my partner Grace, and I love her very much. What's a real song? That's a theme song of your life. The song, name 3 things in your fridge right now. Cold brew coffee, special ice cubes that because I like really, it's in the freezer, but you get the idea.
Fridge.
Oh, in the fridge. Okay, so cold brew coffee, Ikara, which is really good salmon roe. And then also, I have Factor meals and they're really nailing it. Brought to you by Factor. Do an impression. I just wanted to do that. Oh no. Do an impression. Everyone thinks they're good at walking, and having literally worked with him, that's, I guess a name drop. In
Peter Pan Live.
In Peter Pan Live, he literally held a teddy bear that was Michael from in the thing, and he looked at him and went, "Alas for Yorick, I knew him." And we were all sitting there tied up and just looked and went, "What the fuck?" It was incredible. So I hope that was okay. What's your favorite YouTube series when you eat pizza while sitting on a couch with a chubby yet attractive host?
You can look up if you need.
Oh, probably Up. Oh, damn it. I thought they were on the back of these too. Shit.
Sorry.
Probably A Pizza Your Mind.
Skip one.
I skipped one. I skipped the song one. It's because, like, I think Hands Down by Dashboard Confessional, just because there's that part that's like, hands down, it's the best thing I can ever remember. I'll always remember the sound of the stereo, the dim of the song. It's about a first date. It's a really cool song, and it's how I wrote songs when I was a kid, because it's all down the octave and very baritone, and then you went, I just have to have it low enough that I can go up the octave at the end. Dashboard Confessional.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
We did it!
We did it!
That's just a way for me to eat pizza quickly and nobody judges me.
No, but also, like, I feel like I was talking for answering the questions, and you really get to go in.
I've eaten quite a bit of pizza.
Listen,
All right, let's quickly talk about No, because I can't leave out, I'm sorry, Olaf.
Yeah.
He toured with Olaf.
I did.
How was that? How was specifically on your body? Because that's a puppet. With any puppet, it restricts certain movements and stuff. Was that the first time you used a puppet?
It was, definitely any puppet like that. I'd like dabbled in puppetry in different kinds of settings, but in a professional setting, I had never been hired as a track that was a puppeteer before.
So how did it feel on your body? Was there anything?
It was, everyone deals with every experience differently. Everyone's body is very unique. The puppet was not built for me. It was built for Greg Hildreth, who's one of my favorite actors of all time, and really incredible, was great in the show. They fit it to me. The puppet did not change size, just the person doing it. This is not like a lawsuit question, but me saying, I still am figuring out how to be better physically after doing the show. Because I did it for a few months, like about 4 months before the pandemic, 18 months of sitting scared on a couch, and then went back because it was the only job we had. And I went back for a year. And my body, like, I wanted to go to the gym, but gyms were scary.
Yeah.
And like, I was figuring out, and I've also like never been like a Chad. And so like, for me, it was like, oh, I'm a character actor. I'm doing this. And then I think you can identify like with this, and I think you would have this same beautiful tragedy of they gave me something with limitations, which was a puppet. And I went, I am gonna find every corner and crease and edge. Like my first week, I got to work with this guy named Lorenzo Pizzoni, one of the greatest artists I have ever. Oh, right? He's got a great documentary.
Lorenzo Pizzoni.
Yeah, he grew up in a circus.
Oh, fun.
Truly,
yeah.
He's
Tell me
incredible.
That because I will be watching that.
He's a phenomenal artist, and he does everything. He's a great actor, everything. And for a week, we just had playtime, where I'd get into the puppet, and we'd practice line dancing, or we'd practice singing my favorite hip hop song, or we'd practice like, hey, like, what do you think you can do? And the mechanism of the puppet, if you've never seen it, it was this hand is in the top of the head, which is about sternum level, and it's this is how you hinged the mouth, and then the thumb did eyeballs and eyebrows on two different things.
Fun.
And since I have like a little this kind of thumb, hitchhiker's thumb, I could do both.
Fun.
So then I could like learn to do some and be like, I can just do eyebrows and then like do this and like pop them off. But also because I am a musician and things, I have like flexi joints. So I would get in there and figure out like, oh, so I can like reach down and find the like line that's just one of the eyebrows. And then I could like reach under the mechanism and just like raise one eyebrow. Yeah. Because again, when you have something that the eyes don't move and just the eyebrows move together and the eyes close together, you can't even wink.
Yeah.
So it's like finding those limitations and then going, okay, so if this character can't wink, what can I do?
Yeah.
And I'm not hidden, you can see me.
Yep.
And then this hand was both hands. So it's like one of those the thing you grab stuff with.
Yeah.
It's like that. So it was the hand. So when I squeezed, they did this. But then I started realizing, oh, what if I trap one hand to the side and then squeeze, and it lets one hand move by itself? So literally, while I was working, I would find that like, oh, if I take this over here and I put this hand down here, I can do this. And so I'm sitting there like going nuts like this. I realized that if I walked on my heels, I could make him float off the ground. So when there are times where like the wind was blowing and Elsa was Elsa-ing, that I could literally do that.
That's fun.
I wrecked my body.
Yeah.
I totally wrecked it. I went way too hard in the paint.
But,
And
you know, I feel like with some people you have to. Like I think there's no, for me at least, and I feel like you can also, there's no 90%. There's no 99%. You have to go the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah. But it was so much fun, and I had such a great cast to do it with. And I'm not just like trying to be positive about it. Like it was such a learning experience, and I loved so much of it. And I think it was my first time touring for real. The puppet's so cool. The design was so cool.
Yeah.
And I just went too hard, and I didn't know how to not.
Yeah.
Like I imagine it's like a football player or a wrestler or somebody who's doing something that's very physical.
Yeah.
And you go, you gotta hit someone not so hard. And I gotta knock them over.
Yeah, but it's like with any role though, and your role happened to have a puppet.
Yeah, that's correct.
You know, so you have to go all the way. F Michael Haynie.
Yes.
I can't thank you enough for being here.
Yeah.
Really, really, really grateful for you. Can you plug real quick? Plug not only the show that's about to open, but also your social media and stuff that they can find you, because you also make very funny videos as well.
I'm trying to.
You are, and I think you're crushing.
Thank you.
So to that camera,
this one right here. Yeah. All of my socials are at the one right there on the 2 key on your keyboard. It's the worst way anyone ever explained the at. F Michael Haynie, FMichaelHaenie. I'm on TikTok and Instagram, and I don't think I'm on the other ones, but come on. And plug. I am in The Heart of Rock and Roll on Broadway right now. It is a Huey Lewis inspired musical, not about his life, but his music. And I say this genuinely as someone who does not get along with musical theater very often. It is the coolest jukebox musical I have ever been a part of. Truly, the coolest jukebox musical I've ever been a part of, because Brian Yusufer and the arrangements and things he's done with the music are so exciting and unique. And Huey has been the coolest boss I've ever had for like 7 years. I call him a friend and a colleague, and he's also like the nicest guy. And he really wants the show to use the music in whatever way that serves the show. So if you're an artist who's scared of jukebox musicals because you think you know what they mean, come try this one on. And if you hate it, talk to me at the stage door afterwards, and be nice, and don't tell me you didn't like it, and smile and say thank you, and don't be mean. But that's it's Heart of Rock and Roll.
I can't wait to see it, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to have you.
I really can't. I really can't. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed the pizza.
It was great. I'm full.
Me too.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get home and have a snack. You know what I mean?
Another slice.
Yeah.
A slice on the way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Thanks.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you too. Yeah. I don't know how to end it. That was weird, huh?
Pizza, you're mine.